This is our fourth year for this conference in Singapore. It's the biggest trade finance conference in the world. We've had an excellent lineup of speakers this year, and it's very telling that it's here in Singapore.
I think Singapore is a really good example of that, how it's positioned itself in the crossroads of the suppliers and the buyers to create a really good marketplace in which it can thrive as well on the back of the industrialization of the Chinese and Indian economies.
Asia today accounts for nearly 17% of global trade, right? And if you see, it has grown from 5% in 1990 to 17% in 2011. That's a five-fold growth in 2 decades.
In a short span of 2 years, RMB has already become the third largest currency of international trade, behind the US dollar and the euro. So it has overtaken the likes of GBP, Japanese yen, Swiss franc. That's no mean achievement.
Asia is one of these places where knowing your political risk environment is particularly important. If you look, for example, at state-owned companies in Vietnam, they're not all created equal. Who defaults and who doesn't has very much to do with their political standing and how the stars are aligning behind them.
I think the competition has gone up. More and more banks from North America to Europe to Asian banks are opening shops in different countries.
What we have seen, I think, is a need also for local banks to provide, for example, local currency funding, regional banks to increase exposure limit, and also DFI or private insurance companies for emerging markets. So more than competition, I would say complementarity between banks is what is more necessary today.
We're seeing a growing level of interest and demand from Asian corporates and Asian banks, and that is very much will be, from our perspective, the next wave which will drive the market forward.
I think everybody recognises that renminbi is very much a currency that is going to continue to evolve as a major trade currency, but it's not just for trade, it's also for investments as well with the dim sum bonds. But China is the world's second largest economy today. If it really wants to develop into and continue to grow, it's going to have to make sure its currency is a currency of preferred choice.
The West isn't over, and the West remains, of course, a very important consumer market. In 2006, we talked about that as the year of the end of the West's effortless condescension. I mean, in political terms, Western companies are successful companies if they're global companies, and they need to be coming to places like Asia and indeed Africa as partners and looking to participate with local economies and local partners. It's no longer the case that the world is sort of sitting patiently waiting for Western companies to come and disperse expertise and then leave.
Ultimately, the way I look at this is we're not in competition, we're actually quite complementary to each other, and we're serving different market segments with different products.
You bring a lot of people together under one roof, it's a very efficient way to meet a lot of people.